Welcome back, everyone. Michael here with Offshore Citizen. Today we are in beautiful Dubai, just chilling out. And we are going to talk about some sort of breaking news. And we're going to use it for a context of discussing the broad topic which might apply to you. And so the news is that ex-Google CEO and chairman has just purchased the Cyprus Citizenship by investment. Now, that's quite an interesting thing because, here is this very big, credible, multi-billionaire, et cetera. So we're going to dive into why he's probably doing it and why you maybe wouldn't do Cyprus. I mean, they're closing Cyprus, but why you might be interested in some of the similar reasons and the similar concerns that he probably has. So we will cover that and more, as well as I'll kind of give you some ideas about in your situation where maybe you can get citizenship pretty easily, and we'll do that right away. So before we dive into that, if you guys would please do me a huge favor and click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, really appreciate it, trying to grow the channel here, and all the help that we can get is very appreciated. If you like the video, also if you could share it with people, that's also really cool. And aside from that, if you are interested in these topics, i.e. if you're interested in getting a second citizenship, another passport, a better passport, if you're interested in moving abroad, moving to some place that is, has a better residency, etc., you're not sure where to go, you'd like to get some advice about that, you're interested in paying the lowest legal amount of tax possible by doing some sort of an international structure, you're interested in international company formation, offshore banking, etc., please reach out to us. Happy to help you. You can click the link below, clarity.fm/Michael Rosmer, or check out our websites, offshorecitizen.net and offshorecapitalist.com. All right, let's dive into it. So Eric Schmidt, as I mentioned, who is the former CEO and chairman of Google, obviously, pretty substantial individual, has something like a $15 billion net worth at this point in time, has purchased this Cyprus Citizenship by Investment program. And it's interesting because I was in some group and people were kind of throwing around like why he was doing this. And a bunch of people were like, oh, it's probably a tax dodge. And the reality is that it almost certainly has nothing to do with taxes. And it kind of goes to show that there's plenty of reasons for you, aside from taxes, to go and do the same. So why did Eric probably do this? Well, let's talk about why he didn't do it for taxes first. And that is that he's an American. So his first of all, he doesn't need the money, right? He's got, like I said, $15 billion, and the reality is that, that's going to be mostly realized via capital gains, and if he was to leave, he'd have an exit tax anyway, and so on and so forth. Like, there's no real gain for him there. So then why would he do it, right? Why would he do it? And I think that it's probably for, let's call it, three major reasons, all right? What is the first reason? Well, the first reason is simply lifestyle freedom, okay? If you're somebody like Eric, you are in a situation where you may be investing internationally, you may be wanting to travel internationally, and, a U.S. passport is a decent passport, but certainly doesn't give you access to all the areas you might like to go. A good example might be someplace like Russia, right? And so you may be in a situation where you say, hey, listen, I would rather access some other countries. So I have some clients who specifically Russia was one of the places that they wanted to be able to access. And so being able to get something like a Ukrainian citizenship, which is, they don't have a citizenship by investment program, but they have a citizenship by exception thing that you can do. So for quite inexpensive, you can pick that up. That's an interesting one. If you're interested, you can contact us about it. So, accessing Russia, in that particular case, there's some other places you maybe would access. So very, very interesting, right? So that's one thing. The second thing that goes along with that I think is pretty important is, he may have had some interest in being able to be within the EU all the time. He did pay for, after all, for a EU citizenship. And why would a person want that? Well, just think about this. You're normally restricted to 3 months out of every 6 months in the Schengen zone, right? Well, now suddenly he has no restrictions in the Schengen zone. I mean, he can be there for as long as he wants. So maybe he wants to buy a nice vacation property in the south of France or the south of Spain or someplace like that, wants to be at a villa for 4 months in the summer, and he doesn't have to worry about it. He can just go there, as opposed to saying, I'm limited to this 90 days stupid rule, right? So just like the freedom to travel, the freedom in his lifestyle, etc., is probably worth quite a bit to him. And, when you've got $15 billion, then what's $2 million or $2.5 million or whatever that you would invest in local property plus, a little bit in fees, right? Not a lot. Now, the next reason that he may have been interested is for his family, right? So again, he's in a position where financially it's not going to make much difference, but it may open up a lot of opportunities for his family to be able to have them participate in this. So I think that a lot of people, they think about themselves, but especially if you have kids, etc., there's lots of consequences that may lead you to think, hey, look, I should probably consider some other citizenship options because, look, citizenship is, you're kind of a victim of it, right? It's unjust. It's not what you didn't earn it. But you can gain a lot of opportunities by having a good citizenship. So being able to set your kids up that way, I think, is useful. And the third is possibly just for an exit strategy, for a backup plan, right? You just don't know in today's kind of very turbulent world what's going to happen. And so having something else there is a great idea. So with this in mind, I think that's the one that comes down to, for me, kind of some of the more profound insights into what it is that we should be doing today. Okay, so the way that I look at it is this. I believe in optionality. What do I mean by this? I believe that the future is uncertain, and the way to deal with uncertainty is to have a lot of options you can pull on. Then based on how the future goes, you just go down whichever option. If you didn't have that option, you're in a big problem. So as much as possible, it pays to be able to go out and to get options if they don't cost you a lot. So the reality is, if it's going to cost you, $500,000 to get an option that you don't know if you'll ever need or use, it probably doesn't make much sense, right? But if you're in a situation where an option is virtually free, then it can make a ton of sense. So what are some of the very low-cost options that I think people should be considering today? Well, one is the Turkish Citizenship by Investment Program. We've got a video I just recorded recently. I don't know whether it's gone up yet, but on the Turkish Citizenship by Investment Program, very important. Another one is the Portuguese Golden Visa Program. Very, very good program. Worth talking about it. I'll do a specific episode on it at some point in time. Some other options that you might have are, say the Ukrainian citizenship is sufficiently inexpensive that for the right person that could pay off. But also just planting some residencies somewhere. So for instance, we've done some videos in the past on how quickly and easily you can get some South American citizenships if you're willing to go and get a residency there and maintain it for a certain period of time. So some of these, depending on your lifestyle, depending on your travel goals, depending, etc., these can be really low barrier to entry and can open up tremendous doors in the future if that's the situation. So that would be my advice to you, would be look at those 4 or 5 options. And if you want some more, if you have questions about them, reach out to us. Like I said, you can book a call with me, clarity.fm/Michael Rosmer, for help with residencies, citizenships, offshore company formation, offshore banking, international tax planning, asset protection. And yeah, I hope that's helpful to you. If you liked the video, please click the like button. Regardless, really appreciate it if you click the subscribe button, the notification bell, get updated on our latest videos. And check out our websites, offshorecitizen.net, offshorecapitalist.com. I'm going to see you guys on the next video.